it might be quieter than normal today at 7 with many schools partially or even fully closed as teachers walk out on strike for a second time. Members of the National Education Union are staging regional strikes. Today it's affecting the northern region, also the northwest, Yorkshire and the Humber are affected. They're calling for a fully funded above inflation pay rise. Now, the Education Secretary, Gillian Keegan, says as well as competitive salaries, there are other benefits available for teachers.
We have increased the recruitment, the starting salary, because we want to recruit the best graduates, and we've increased the starting salary to £30,000 starting in September 2023 this year. And of course we're always looking at what more we need to do, but 5% is for experienced teachers, it's 8.9% for new teachers. Well, we always look at what the recruitment and retention targets are and what more we need to do. But there's many more opportunities to be able to be promoted within teaching now. The multi-academy trust system has given a lot more career routes and a lot more opportunities for many experienced teachers. We're also investing heavily in new professional qualifications, which also give the opportunity for teachers to take on new skills. There is also progression pay available for most, which is up to 15.9% for 40% of experienced teachers. So it's too simplistic to just look at the headline figures, because there's many other pay award points within teaching.
Let's speak now to Beth Farhat, who is Northern Regional Secretary for the NEU. Thanks for joining us this morning, Beth.
Good morning.
Now, look, the government says around 90% of schools stayed at least partly open last time you went out on strike. Are you expecting the same today?
Actually, I think it might be a little more, because we know that 51,000 people joined the NEU in the last 41 days. So that demonstrates the strength of feeling is high and, increased unhappiness with the government's position in handling the dispute. So yes, today is kind of day two in a wave of industrial action across the country. We've got over 90 picket lines across the northeast and Cumbria, and the government has failed to properly negotiate or make an offer, despite us giving forensic evidence as to what's happening around teachers' pay, but not just that, the recruitment and retention crisis. So we have met with Gillian Keegan since the 1st of February, which is the first day of action. There's been no moves at all, but there was a request, though, for us to pause industrial action today in order for us to come around the table. However, no dates were given, no offer was made as to what we could potentially be negotiating on, because we're a democratic union. So whatever offer the government gives us, we must put it to our membership to make sure that they're happy with it. And to date, nothing's been given to us to allow us to do that.
OK, but you were asked to pause the action for today to come to the table, but you haven't done that.
No, basically, we called a series of meetings in recent weeks. Her latest proposal was to meet only on the condition if we call off strikes. So in the absence of anything for us to take to membership, we were unable to do that. And I think because the strength of feeling is so high on this, that there aren't. And the other thing to also think about is we gave forensic evidence about the importance of an increased pay rise, but also what's happening in terms of the education crisis. The government has offered for next year 3%. Okay, it's made it kind of the DfE has made that recommendation to the Teachers Review Body. That is still a pay cut. That's for next year. That doesn't address the dispute that we have ongoing, which is about this year's pay settlement. So that we, our members and our National Executive Committee, who take the decision on whether we took industrial action today or not, feel that is not enough. That's not addressing the current issue of this year's pay settlement.
Okay. What kind of responses have you been getting from parents this time? Obviously, this is the second strike in a month. Is it quite mixed?
Yeah, of course it's going to be. It is mixed, but what I would say is thousands and thousands of parents have signed up to the campaign to support their educators to support the people that teach their children and support their children, because they see every day actually the disruptions in school, the lack of funding, the recruitment and retention crisis, how there's a revolving door of teachers, kind of supply teachers teaching their children, no kind of stability or continuity, but also lots of, say maths teachers, for example, having to cover chemistry GCSE classes and teaching out of textbooks. So they see every day the disruption that's happening to their children's education. So we do have a lot of parent support, which is really good to see. But of course, it is going to be mixed. But let's face it, the only way we can change the government's position on education, it requires a social process, a social force. That's parents and educators and politicians working together to shift that wheel and to actually give children what they deserve. This generation of children deserve better when it comes to their future and their education. And that starts with qualified teachers who are valued for the work that they do and not burnt out.
Okay. The government says that these strikes have a significant impact on children's education. But from what you're telling me, Beth, you believe that there's already a situation where things are having a significant impact on children's education without these strikes?
100%. 1 in 8 maths teachers, maths lessons are being taught by an unqualified teacher. The government is missing out on its secondary recruitment, secondary sort of teacher target, I think by 41% this year. This country will never grow if we starve education. And children need to deserve to be taught in buildings that are safe and in good condition, and also, we need to make sure that those children who need that extra SEN support have it, because actually so many support staff are leaving to work in supermarkets because they get paid better, despite having that love and passion for children. They can't make ends meet.
And I guess at the minute you're saying that they can't make ends meet. With obviously pay is an important issue. Your members are losing pay again today, so two days' pay in a month, I guess, is nothing to be sniffed at.
Not at all.
Does that show perhaps the commitment that teachers have to this process still, or have you found support has been waning a little? Representing teachers and educators is just amazing. They are such an inspiring group of people, so committed to teaching young children, supporting young children. So today they are standing up for their livelihoods, but for the children that they teach. And if anything, I think strength of feeling is growing. And we really hope by the end of the week that we are around the table with government. They are listening to what educators are telling them, and they do something to save this amazing profession, which is the fabric of society. Okay. Well, so Beth, obviously the government have reached out that olive branch and said that they will enter formal talks on pay if you paused strike action today. You say that olive branch is not enough. You're not willing to go into negotiations without knowing what's on the table. So what is the solution here? What do the government need to say to you in order for this to get resolved, or for at least for you to go around the table?
Well, we want to negotiate. So basically, it's a very thorny olive branch that's been handed out. So it's sort of like we will meet you, but we haven't actually got anything to give you right now. And that's not the position we want to be in. We want to be in a position where you can come to the negotiating table. We have an offer to make you for this year's pay settlement. We are willing to negotiate. We've got something to give you. At the moment, it's every meeting we've had with Gillian has been warm words, and that's not what we want. We need more than that. We need a demonstration that there's a commitment to putting funding into education where it matters. That hasn't come forward yet. But I think there is potential, I hope, for a meeting with with her Prime Minister or maybe the Chancellor before the budget to sort this out.
Okay, so basically, say if this was an episode of Deal or No Deal, and Noel Edmonds handed you the box and said, "Come and negotiate, come and chat to me about what's in this box." You want to know what's in the box before you go to the table, basically.
We want an assurance that they are giving us, they have money to give us something, because what she's saying right now is there is no money to give you anything. And we've been given empty promises. So what we need is, yes, we need to say we are in a position to negotiate, come in, because at the moment, all that's happened is, they've listened to our forensic evidence and then made us an offer that is completely different to what we asked for next year. So a 3% offer has been made for next year, nothing for this year's pay settlement that we asked for in terms of an increase, for it to be in line with inflation. And we know inflation could be potentially coming down, but we know the cost of things don't come down. So we need that middle ground. We need to be able to negotiate. We need to win for educators.
Okay. Well, Beth, we hope this gets resolved, and hopefully we have you back on for some better news, and when teachers aren't walking out. Thanks for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.